stumble across someone whose life just seems to connect totally different worlds?
It happens, yeah. Makes you look twice.
Exactly. We've been doing a deep dive into Terence Hughes. We've looked at, well, everything from his fitness coaching material to his indie music label website, No Head Music.
Quite the range.
Right. So our mission today is basically to sift through all these achievements and figure out, what's the common thread, what connects his work in movement and music, and maybe what can we learn from it about potential.
Well, the first thing that really jumps out is just the sheer length and variety of his career. 40 years as an exercise professional movement conditioning coach.
Yeah.
That's substantial.
40 years is a long time in any field.
It really is.
Yeah.
And look who he's worked with. You've got elite athletes at one end,
Mm-hmm.
and then elderly, frail individuals at the other, people managing Parkinson's, dementia, recovering from falls. That suggests a really deep understanding of the human body, like across the entire spectrum.
Not just peak performance, but fundamental movement, too. And now it's not just his job, is it? His own interests are just as broad.
Oh, absolutely. Karate, capoeira,
Yeah.
movement and dance, stage combat,
Stage combat, okay.
Nordic walking, Pilates, boxing, weights, body weight stuff. He's clearly lived this stuff, a lifelong immersion in physical discipline.
And then completely separate, or so it seems, the music. Songwriter, composer, producing Latin dance music on his own label.
It does make you wonder, how does that fit in? How do these worlds feed each other?
Okay, so maybe looking at his actual projects gives us clues, like the Walk for Life program.
Right. That was apparently a UK first, got national acclaim. It wasn't just go for a walk. It was about building community, promoting active living, creating info booklets, clubs.
So taking the expertise and making it accessible, community-focused.
Exactly. And similar vibes with his health-enhancing exercise work over the last decade. Things like the FAB classes. Falls in balance, I think. Working through NHS, age concern, focusing on postural stability, remedial exercise for people with, a whole list of conditions. Down syndrome, arthritis, MS, autism, dyslexia.
Wow. Okay, so incredibly inclusive.
Very. And then look at the organizations he's partnered with. It's not just health charities, universities, big corporations, housing associations, nursing homes, performing arts colleges.
Training agencies, fitness chains, schools,
Yeah.
even football associations, FA, UEFA, Austria, Armenia.
Yeah, which hints at that sports connection again. He had that sport answer program early on, working with elite football clubs. Maybe that connects somehow.
Which leads us to this SAMBA protocol. Sounds intriguing.
It does. MBA, simulation action learning movement, and music behavioral applied to real life.
Okay, break that down.
Well, seeing his background, blending movement and music seems key, right? Simulation can be mental rehearsal, visualization, then action learning, actually doing it. The movement and music are obviously central tools. Then behavioral changing habits, maybe. And finally, applied to real life, making it stick.
It feels like a culmination, like all those different threads, the coaching, the music, the martial arts coming together into one method.
It really does.
Yeah.
It seems like his whole life has been this process of, well, one source called it action learning. Just learning by doing, constantly.
And his work wasn't just UK-based either. Japan, Europe, South Africa, Austria, Armenia suggests his approach resonated internationally.
Yeah, there's a broad appeal there.
And even outside of work, you see the integration, right? Loves biking, plays guitar. Movement and music are just part of his life, not just his job.
Exactly. It feels organic. The skills didn't just sit side by side. They seem to have cross-pollinated, leading to these unique ways of looking at performance and well-being.
It's not just being skilled in multiple areas, it's how those skills combine to create something new.
Precisely. The synergy is the interesting part.
So, when you boil it down, Terence Hughes' story is this really fascinating fusion. You don't often find someone so deeply invested in both the physical, the kinesthetic, and the rhythmic, the musical.
It's a powerful combination.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yep.
About our own lives, maybe passions or skills that seem totally separate. Could there be hidden connections there? Untapped potential?
Yeah, that's the takeaway, perhaps. It poses a question for everyone listening. Where might your seemingly unrelated interests actually intersect? Could exploring that, embracing that kind of action learning, maybe unlock something new for you?